Listen up, get ready, I'm not gonna take no more. There's a revolution, a revelation going on in my soul. Buckle up, get ready, we're not gonna sit.
Welcome back to Live from the Heartland for the week of August 26th. And it really brings me a lot of pleasure to bring on a new friend, someone that our music producer, Lynn Orman, found for us. He's the one and only Lou Hinkhouse, and he is the media, I think the media representative for the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum on Route 66, right? I got it right?
Media chairman.
Media chairman. Good afternoon. Well, I didn't know about this museum. I want you to tell us about it. I do know a little bit about Route 66. Actually, in 1960, I drove across country and I took Route 66 from Illinois all the way to somewhere in New Mexico, I think Santa Rosa, when I cut down through Alamogordo and White Sands, et cetera, on my way to California. But I drove a hot rod Ford with an Olds engine across Route 66, and I'm going to come out and see the museum. Why don't you give us a little bit of what goes on at the museum? What's going on?
Wow. Sometimes we have to hear about your story.
I got a lot of
great documentary. But yeah, the museum, I've been on the board for 5 years. It's the brainchild of Ron Romero, who's the chairman. And sometimes people say, well, why is it in Joliet? And the reason is, Ron's from the Joliet area. And Joliet's got a lot of cool mojo going to it. It's got the Rialto, which is a beautiful music venue that's been around. And people like Buddy Guy love Joliet and love the Rialto. And so Ron was able to secure a building. So we've had a building for 3 years, and we're just it's open to the public now, but we haven't really started our exhibits yet. But we have had, this is our third annual Hall of Fame where we induct great Illinois artists. And in the past, we've inducted REO Speedwagon, Styx, and the Buckinghams, among many others. This year, we're inducting the Shadows of Night and John Prine. I think the highlight of that night is going to be Bonnie Kolak singing and sharing her memories of John Prine, who I don't know if you probably know. She was pretty instrumental when he first started. She really encouraged him because he was just a mailman, and he wasn't
sure the United States Postal Service.
Right. And he was kind of timid, I guess, at the Quiet Night. And she saw one of his first performance, and she said, "You're the real deal. You got to do this." And so they were extremely close. And then that's a Sunday night, September 17th. The night before that, and that's at the Rialto, which is beautiful. The Rialto is like a jewel of the Illinois, Midwest. And then the night before that, the 16th, Saturday, is going to be at the Forge. We're calling it the VIP pre-party. And that's going to be a rock and roll blowout. It's got Shoes coming, who are Zion, Illinois, Elektra Records, power pop legends. And they are bringing in Rick Menk to play drums, who's a power pop legend on his own. He's played with Matthew Sweet, Liz Phair, Velvet Crush. Then we've also got one of the boys. I don't know if you're familiar with the band The Boys from Illinois. They were on Sony, I think, and they had 2 or 3 albums. Dan Buck has a new lineup called One of the Boys. They play the same rowdy style. Then we got the Phil and Gotti, Brad Elvis, Casey McDonough trio, who are another 3, ringers from the Illinois pop era. Then we also have Ralph Covert, another great legend. He's famous for Ralph's World. And
yeah, we've had him on the show.
Oh, he's amazing. I mean, what a talent. There's so much talent. Then to open up, we've got Jen Fuse, who's a band from the area, who's an incredible band led by Lindsay Kent. So it's like so much to get in one night. It's incredible. But I'm just really happy and blessed because those are friends of mine. I asked them if they would contribute, and they all, it's amazing. They all said yes, and they're all really looking forward to it.
So this is an event, really, part of the museum is a Hall of Fame. And you're going to induct Prine, Bob Surratt, and Brian Shames.
Nat King Cole, Ramsey Lewis.
Those are all, that's right, Illinois. So it's not just rock and roll. It's like...
right, all styles. Earth, Wind, and Fire is going to be inducted. And and radio stations too, where the Loop is going to be inducted, and also Alligator Records will be inducted.
I think we used it on the show. I'm not sure if I did or not, but we were talking to someone about Alligator Records, and I came up with a photograph I had taken back in '79, I think it was. I'll send it to you.
Yeah, I'd love that.
So let me be clear. You're going to have this big event. What are the two dates? You got one place is at the beautiful theater, and the other one is at a rock and roll venue, right?
Yeah, I know. So Saturday, September 16th is the VIP pre-party, and that's at the Forge. And the Forge is a 800 capacity venue right across the street from the museum, as a matter of fact, downtown Joliet. Then the Sunday night is the Rialto, which is the major event. And that's I think that's like 2,000, it's a big, beautiful, ornate. It's like the Chicago Theater, so ornate. Kind of like, so that's the main event. The pre-party tickets are only $15. If you want tickets for the Forge, you got to go to their website, theforgelive.com. If you want tickets to the Sunday night, you can go to roadtorock.org, which is our museum website. And I think you could also get them at the Rialto website.
Well, let me ask you, Lou Hinkhouse, how did you get involved with the museum, and what is your line of work? What do you do, and are you a musician? Give us a little bit about yourself.
I'm a video producer, editor by trade, but I just was very fortunate to do a tribute to Lynn Bramer. I've done videos. We did a great video that won an award last year. Bob Surratt interviewed Clark Weber. I've done some great interviews with Bob Surratt at the Chess Records, and we interviewed Gene Barge. So I'm a video producer by trade, and my love is music. I don't know if you can see my records behind me, but I'm a music nut, and so right now I'm combining those two things to my two passions. I love creating video and telling stories through video, and that's basically my story in a nutshell. Is that my TV show The Pulse is how I started my TV career, and we had the first video ever, the Smashing Pumpkins. So if you go on YouTube and look up Smashing Pumpkins Basement Jam, you'll see me introducing the video. Billy had long hair. It was amazing. It's amazing footage to watch because they were totally different in those days.
Yeah, they were.
Just gotten Jimmy on drums, so they still were kind of like New Order more than Led Zeppelin.
This show you mentioned, The Pulse, is it still on?
The Pulse, no, the Pulse went off the air like in 1991. Then I started a Vimeo channel, so I could send you a link to if you go to Vimeo, The Pulse Chicago, you'll see videos that we did more recently. But that was a couple years ago. I haven't really aired anything by The Pulse, but we've done some really cool online video stuff. If you look at the Pulse Vimeo, thepulsechicago.com.
Well, you're a hell of an interesting guy. I'm going to have to meet you. I'm going to come out. I won't be in town that weekend, but I will come out to the museum, and you and I should get together. You mentioned Gene Barge. He just had a birthday. I think he's 97.
Yeah.
And, I'm in a number of movies, Andy Davis movies, along with Gene. We're in Under Siege. We hung out in Mobile a lot. I remember we went to a fight one night. It was a big arena. Gene's a lot of fun and a great musician.
I'll send you the link. He tells a great story about the Rolling Stones. I mean, Mick and Keith loved Gene. He played with them, You
got anything else you want to share before we sign out?
I think just thank you for the interview, and I really hope people make it out to Joliet. There's trains from all over the state that head to Joliet.
How far is Joliet from Chicago? And I'm glad I never went into the prison out there.
Yeah.
I'm fearful of it at certain times in my life.
No, it's if you drive, it's about an hour, but the train ride I think is 45 minutes, and I think it has a bar car on it. Yeah, and the Joliet's kind of central, for a lot of parts of the state because the museum serves the whole state.
Well, I got to say, I'm glad that your mayor or former mayor didn't become the governor of the state of Illinois.
Right. The new mayor of Joliet is awesome. Darcy, he's fantastic.
You got a new mayor.
Yeah, in Joliet.
Good.
Yeah, Joliet has a fantastic mayor, Darcy.
Well, Lou Hinkhouse from the Illinois Rock and Roll Museum, We want to thank you for coming on live from the Heartland, and you're going to be our friend for the rest of our lives.
Yeah.
We'll see you, brother.
You too. Thanks.